Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build. Today I am back with another tiny house on the channel. This is another installment of the Squish and we're building a tiny house for the 100 baby challenge. If you're not familiar with that challenge, I will link the rules down below, but it's a very popular one here in the Sims community where you have to have a sim have 100 babies with different sims, and it's kind of a nightmare, and I can only imagine that it's going to be a lot harder next year once we get the infant life stage added to the game. So I thought that today we could sit down and build a tiny house that you could start off this series in. Of course, you're going to outgrow a tiny house over time having 100 babies, but you could start it off here and have some of the perks through the Tiny Living stuff pack that give you some like skill gain and relationship boosts and stuff. So that is what we are doing here today. But first, I'd like to take a moment to introduce today's sponsor, Liquid IV. It's so easy to get sucked into a game and not get up for hours, but it's so important to take care of yourself. As a gamer and a streamer, I spend countless hours in front of my PC. I lose track of time and I forget to stay hydrated. Liquid IV actually helps me with that with 2 times faster hydration than water alone. Liquid IV's Hydration Multiplier is a daily electrolyte mix that utilizes the breakthrough science of cellular transport technology to deliver hydration to the bloodstream faster and more efficiently than water alone. Plus, it's delicious. I really like the lemon lime flavor as well as the Concord grape. Liquid IV has been helping me stay hydrated and avoid going for options like soda, which leave me dehydrated during my late night editing sessions. If you'd like to try these Hydration Multiplier flavors, you can click the link below or use my code Gryphi for 20% off plus free shipping. Thank you again to Liquid IV for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to it. So just working on the roof shape here, I had a general idea of what I wanted to go for this tiny house. I wanted it to look like a normal house from the outside, but just very small. And I was originally hoping to make this a micro home, which would be 32 tiles or less, but I quickly found that that was not going to work out if I actually wanted to be able to at least have a few children in this house at the beginning of the 100 baby challenge. So this ends up being a true tiny home. It is 51 tiles, which fits into the second tier of tiny home, which can be up to 64. So you have some wiggle room if you want to make it a little bit bigger and still retain the perks of tier 2. Or you can go all the way up to 100 tiles and still have some form of benefits from the Tiny Living stuff pack. So as you can see here, I haven't added on to it yet, but I'm trying to figure out what floor plan I want to have on the inside. I knew I wanted to have the kitchen here at the front because I thought that that would be a good spot for it. I do get this question a lot. You can prep and cook on corner counters, and that is the whole concept I had going on for where the kitchen placement was going to be in this house. I wanted to make sure to utilize the space as efficiently as possible so that you could have space for the family to work on skill building, hang out, eat, and also have their separate bedrooms, but of course progress the challenge and continue to have more babies. So this house does end up having 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. The bigger bedroom, of course, has a double bed, so your Sims can use that to try for a baby. And then the other room ends up having a lofted bed with a toddler bed underneath. And in the primary bedroom, I also have a bassinet. So I was thinking this house would fit the mom and 3 children at a time. You could swap out the bottom bunk bed for a regular size bed, so that way you could have a toddler or a child in there, and you could probably always have a bassinet as well for a baby. You might be able to move things around in the primary bedroom to put a toddler bed instead of a bassinet, but it's a very tight fit in here, but you could definitely add a couple more tiles to this house and still retain it as a tiny home. So there shouldn't be a problem there, but I think it ends up being so cute and very functional. I did playtest this house to make sure it worked because there were a couple of things I wasn't positive were going to work, but I was so happy that they actually did. I will address those as we get to them, but for right now, I'm working on the back of the house. I wanted to make sure we had a door to the backyard so we could actually utilize some space out here for some additional living spaces, skill building items, all of that sort of stuff. I wanted to make sure there were a couple of ways for this mom to go ahead and make money, so I do end up having an easel out here as well as a bunch bunch of planter pots for some gardening, and I also make sure to include a few activities for the kids as well. I believe there are monkey bars out back and a swing set out front and like a table and chairs and all of that, so your Sims can actually dine together as well. I mentioned this house is 51 tiles. It is also 28,060 simoleons and currently available right now for download on the Sims 4 gallery if you'd like to grab it. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi. You can also find it under the hashtag Miss Gryphi, and that information is all in the description down below as well. So feel free to download this build if you enjoyed it, and of course, if you are enjoying this video, give it a big thumbs up as well, because that really does help me out. So the backyard is coming together now. You can see the planter pots that I put down, as well as the easel. I will be rearranging this slightly because I make the fenced-in portion in the backyard a little bit bigger to accommodate more items. It was a little squished back here. And I know this is a tiny house, but I wanted to make sure it was still plenty playable. And this lot is not a big lot, but for this house, it's a big lot. So I wanted to just move these shrubs over here so we could move all of the planters. We actually end up having so much more space for them this way. And I'm able to just make the space look like you can navigate it a little bit better. So we get these bigger planter pots. I move the monkey bars, and then I am placing some flowers on the outside here. I do utilize a lot of Shall I Edit objects and debug in this house. Like always, I love the landscaping that comes with the debug catalogs, so I do use that, and there are so many bright colors on the interior here. I had a blast with the color schemes. I use a lot of pinks, purples, and blues on the inside. I just wanted it to be really fun and colorful, so that is what I went with. Hopefully you like that decision. I just think of like colorful family homes whenever I think of the 100 Baby Challenge, and why not have some bright colors to keep your moods up while you are doing this very difficult challenge. If you have done the 100 Baby Challenge, do let me know. How did it go? How far did you get? Did you complete it? Did you lose all your hair in the process? I just need to know this. I feel like it's such a difficult challenge, and I'm definitely considering doing it once infants come out, which is probably a horrible idea. I did put a poll out a few weeks ago on my community tab asking for your suggestions on whether or not I should do it, and most of you said yes. So maybe that'll be coming in 2023. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, in here, I am trying to figure out the living space, and you can see I made a diagonal wall into the kitchen and have an archway there. I really wasn't sure if that was going to function, if you were going to be able to access the kitchen and still use the fridge, and it works fine. I was really happy about that because it saves so much space and makes this room look less awkward. It's a weird shape, but it feels more open having those diagonals instead of sharp 90-degree angles in the corners. So I was able to fit a TV, some artwork in here. I love this couch that I used from high school years in this pink swatch with like the comfy blankets and stuff on it. It just feels so cozy. And that was definitely the vibe I was going for in this tiny house. So that is how that came together. I also loved the purple rug in here. I think that one is from Parenthood, and I also put the parenting board up here as well. I'm not sure if you use that much in the 100 Baby Challenge. I feel like you're not too into the teaching them all of the skills from Parenthood, and it's more so getting them to, you know, learn to go to the bathroom and get A's in school and all of that. But I haven't read the rules in a while, so maybe I'm wrong and I just don't know what I'm talking about. But I thought it was a nice decoration to put in here regardless, and you can always replace that with something else if you prefer. But here in the kitchen space, I just wanted a couple of decorations. I, of course, had to get my favorite cutting boards because I love them and I put them in almost every build. But also, we don't have any counter space that I can decorate in here because we only have one functional counter, which is that corner one. So if I wanted to have any decor in here, it needed to be wall decor. So that is another reason I love those cutting boards. And then in the bathroom here, I needed to have a bigger bathroom than most tiny houses that I create. So I was able to fit in the shower tub combo so you can actually bathe your toddlers. It's kind of important in the 100 Baby Challenge to take care of them. Well, I guess it depends on how you play it, because you could like try and treat all of the kids great, or you could name them after foods, or just like fun things like that. I've seen so many varieties of how people play this. I've seen like when they get like locked away in a room, or when they all have their own unique personalities in bedrooms, and then you might have one named Broccoli, you know, like there are so many different ways to play the 100 Baby Challenge. So depending on how you tackle it, this house may or may not be a good option for you, but I thought it was a cute starter one. Definitely let me know what you think of this and what other things you would like to see, especially regarding the 100 Baby Challenge, because not only might I try it in like next year when infants come out, but I will probably build some more things that are for this challenge. Whether that's in a house, an apartment, let me know what you would like to see. I think that will be fun, but I think I will wait until infants are out so that I can implement some more of that stuff. But I think it's going to be so much fun to decorate another home for this challenge. Anyway, this is going to be the kids' bedroom now. I just have the loft bed with the toddler bed underneath. I made sure to include a toy box in here, as well as this light that keeps the monsters away from nightmares. So that's a very helpful thing. I often forget to include that, but I was happy to include that in this room. And then trying to figure out what rug to put in here. I thought about adding one of the ones from the pastel pop kit, but for some reason I didn't quite like it in this space. So I opted for this one from high school years instead. And then I get a little height chart on the wall, which I think is so cute. I love adding those items. And then I think we're just going outside to get a couple more activities and decorations and work on terrain paint. So I did add that tent out back, which is from Dream Home Decorator. Kids and toddlers can play in there, and I don't remember what skill it builds, but it is something they can do for fun. So I thought that was a nice way to help you out. You could just send them out to hang out in the tent. There wasn't room in the house for it because it's massive, and I have trouble fitting it in regular size houses, so I thought it was fine for a backyard. I'm not sure where it was intended to go when it was created, but I think it looks really cute back there. And then I'm just getting some more landscaping here. I wanted to make sure to have some like pink flowers. We have the purple flowers in the flower boxes on the windows, and I just think it looks so cute out here. I thought about for a while decorating or painting the outside of the house a really bright, colorful color, but no matter how many times I tried, I just really didn't like it. I spent so long trying to figure out a color for the outside of the house, and I ended up with a beige in the end. I cut out so much footage, but I think it looks okay, especially because I also put this really pretty pastel purple door. I feel like that just helps bring the color in that I wanted without having like pink siding or something, because none of them were really the color I wanted. I think that's the problem with a lot of the siding options we have in the game being with base game, and they're just not that good. But hopefully someday we will get some more good base game siding colors. But with that, we are heading on to the end of the video and into screenshots. I really hope you enjoyed this. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and click that bell to be notified when I upload. And of course, check out my discount code down below for Liquid IV. Thank you again to them for sponsoring, and I will see y'all soon. Bye everyone.